Hey guys, I'm Amit Kumar and welcome to this video in which we are going to talk about methods of list. This is part 1. List class provides different methods to access and manipulate a list. It also provides 3 versions of the constructor to instantiate a list. So if you remember, I told you with the new keyword we used to call the list, and when we are calling the list with type with the pair of parentheses, this is nothing but the constructor of the list class. We are going to study about constructor later down the line, but there are 3 versions or there are 3 ways we can instantiate a list. The following are the 3 ways where we are specifying the constructor or the parentheses without any parameter. In the second version, we can pass a list over here, and in the third version, we can pass a set over here. List class provides different methods as well, and here I have listed some of the important methods of the list class. We are going to discuss them one by one. So the first method, that is the add method, we have already seen this method in which we pass an element and it adds that element to the end of a list. We have another version of add method where we specify index along with an element, so it inserts an element into the list at the specified index position and shifts the rest of the elements. addAll method with a list as parameter, so it adds all the elements in the specified list to the list that calls the method. Both lists must be of the same type. addAll with a set, so it adds all the elements in specified set to the list that calls the method. The set and the list must be of the same type. Clear method, which removes all elements from a list, consequently setting the list's length to 0. So it's pretty much of talk, and now it's time to see the things practically. So guys, here we are on our developer console, and let's create a program for list methods. So guys, here's our program. You can see we have created a list of integer with name list1, and here we call the constructor without any parameter, and we printed the list before adding any element. Then we added 3 elements to the list with the add method, and we should also print after adding. So let me add one more line of code over here, and this should be after adding. Now here we created another list, list2, and in this list we have passed the first list as a parameter. So it's the second constructor version in which we can pass a list, and then we printed the list over here. We printed the list before adding any new element to second list. So here when we will print the value, it will print all the values that are already present in list 1. Now after this line, we have added 100 to this list and we printed again. So when we will print here now, definitely it will print all the values of the first list along with 100. Here we have printed list 1 again to show whether it creates any change, because we are changing in list 2, whether that change is affecting list 1 or not. Finally, we created a list of string over here, and then we tried to create another list from this list string. But the catch over here is we are creating a list of integer from a list of string. Definitely it's going to show an error. If I will remove this comment and save this program, it's going to show me an error over here, and the error will say that invalid initializer type list found, and it is found on line number 20, and it is expected an integer or a list of type integer, but we are specifying a list of type string. So if you are using a constructor of list where you can pass a list, then the list that you are passing and the constructor for which you are creating the list, their type should be same, and if it won't be same, it will show an error. So let me comment out this line and this line as well, as it is not required. Let me save it and let's run to see the output. So guys, here you can see when we printed the list before adding any value, the list is empty. When we added those 3 values, then 10, 20, 30 is printed. Then we printed list 2 after creating it from list 1. So the value is same, 10, 20, 30. So second list before adding any value, that is 10, 20 and 30. Second list after adding 100 to it, it became 10, 20, 30 and 100. But that 100 added to second list is not going to affect the first list. So if you are creating a list out of another list by passing it as the constructor parameter, it is passing it as value, and any change made in the second list is not going to affect the first list at all. Now let's see another program with list methods. Now in this program, I have created a list 1, added 3 elements to it, 10, 20 and 30, and displayed that list. Then again I added 1 element to it, but this time I added with an index 1. So if you talk about this list now, it is having 10, 20 and 30, where 20 is at index 1. So when you will print here, it will print 10, 20 and 30. But after adding 100 at index 1, it will print 10, 100, 20 and 30. So if you will use add method with an index, it's going to add that element at that specific index and shift rest of the elements. I again created another list over here, added 5, 15 and 25 to it. And then I use the addAll method. Now this addAll method is going to add this second list as it is passed as parameter to this first list. Now the first list is already having 10, 100, 20 and 30, and then it will add 5, 15 and 25 to it. Then I call the clear method, and after that I printed the list 1 again, so this time list will be empty. So now let's see the output of this program. So guys, you can clearly see when the first list is displayed by adding 10, 20 and 30, then we add 100 with specifying an index, so it shifted 20 and 30. And then we used addAll method to add a list containing 5, 15 and 25, which is added at the end. And finally we displayed the list again by clearing all the values, so the list became empty. So that marks the end of this video. See you soon in the next video. Till then, thank you and take care.